without waiting for the wave? Have you ever surged 40 feet in the air being pulled by a kite? With the extreme sport of kite surfing, the kite surfer can do all these things with a kite, wind, and simple physics. According to SBC Kiteboarding magazine, kite surfing has surged in popularity, now reaching over 500,000 participators worldwide. With the increasing popularity of this extreme sport, kite surfers need to learn and understand the general safety features and procedures that are needed to protect people on the beach and themselves as well. As a new Gulf Shores kite surfer, I have been well informed of these safety procedures and setup techniques. We'll have a demonstrator showing all these procedures and techniques. Proper safety techniques following multiple safety checks are essential in kite surfing during the setup of these essential equipment. The setup of the kite, bar and lines, and harness will be demonstrated, and the safety features and procedures will be reviewed for each piece of equipment discovered. Trip Foreman, co-founder and instructor for Real Kiteboarding in Cape Hatteras, North Carolina, teaches beginners safety first. He teaches safety because, as he says, one of the most important things in kite surfing is learning how to surf safely. He maintains that your equipment and what you do with it is 100% your responsibility. The first piece of equipment is the main element, the kite. The first thing you do is unfold the kite and pump it up with air. You place it topside down on the sand, and you attach the kite using the safety feature, as Fallon is demonstrating. Though there are many different types of kiting equipment available, our demonstrations will be performed by a local kite surfer, Fallon Mackey, and all of them will be performed on the F1 Bandit 3 4-line kite using a waist harness. You'll just pump it up with this pump. For our demonstration, we have already pumped up this kite, if y'all would like to follow us. As you're pumping up the kite, you're going to want to keep it connected with the pump so it doesn't fly away. An additional measure that you can do is when you pump it up, face it towards the wind so the wind blows over it, and then also put some sand on it to help weigh it down, ensuring that it doesn't fly away. After setting up the kite and following safety procedures and ensuring the kite doesn't fly away, Fallon will start setting up the bar. We have this bar already set up with all the lines properly placed. Setting up the bar and lines can be very dangerous, so extreme caution should be used in setting up the bar. Fallon has laid out his lines, and he has sand on each of these by digging a shallow hole and putting sand on top of it. That way they don't get tangled. Fallon will now walk out the lines to separate them, making sure that no tangles or knots are present in any of the 4 lines. What Fallon has done over here is he buried the control bar so it doesn't jerk up and twist the lines as he's walking them out. Now he's going to attach the lines. They're color-coded, which is another safety feature. The red will be attached to the outer edge. This is the outer leading trail, outer edge. Now he's connecting the center. Notice that they all have little knots at the end of them. And that's how to keep it on tight. I asked Sam Witt, the owner and instructor for DC Kites, what concerns should a beginning kite surfer watch out for, and he said you really have to inspect your equipment. Look at the frayed ends of the line, right here. Always inspect your equipment and double check. Right now what Fallon is doing is double checking to make sure it's on the correct knot and the correct line is connected to the right connection. So following Sam's advice, Fallon's double checking everything, and he's also walking out the lines again. Okay, now that both the kite and the bar and lines are set up, Fallon will attach himself to the kite by putting on his harness. If you'd like to follow me this way. a waist harness. Beginners might want to use something called a seat harness. Seat harnesses distribute your weight more evenly. This is a seat harness. You just put your legs through, and it's like you're being cradled. His, however, just goes around his waist, which is more ideal for more advanced kite surfers. Putting on the harness, tighten down these straps right here. Make sure it's not too tight so it won't be too restrictive. The spreader bar, this bar right here, should be in the middle directly underneath your belly button. Okay, now we're going to connect it to the chicken loop, which is at the end of the bar. Okay, this is the chicken loop. He will put it underneath the spreader bar, and he will put the donkey dick through the chicken loop. Okay. This makes sure that it stays hooked in and is secure. We will also attach a leash on one side of his spreader bar to a steel ring right here, which is a safety feature. Now that he is all connected with the kite, the bar and lines, and the harness, he will go through the safety features and procedures once again to ensure maximum safety. Kiteboarding Magazine's Adam Von Inns describes the following safety procedures as redundant, including color-coded lines, bar grips, soft bar ends, and a feature called the dead man's release, or the emergency release. The safety features of the emergency release and the leash are used in emergency situations only. The emergency release is located on the underside of the bar. Fallon will be grabbing it in just a minute. This safety feature will detach you from the chicken loop, will detach you from the bar completely. As he pulls it, you can see that the chicken loop comes free, and he is not attached to anything except for the leash, which is attached to the kite still. With this, the leash and the kite attached, it's still attached to the steel ring, which will pull and is fully depowers the kite. It pulls the line of the kite, so it will bring the kite out of the sky. Take caution if letting go of the leash. If you have to, very last thing you have to do is disconnect yourself from the leash. So once you disconnect, you are completely free. This is only in emergencies. As Trip Foreman reiterates the use of the safety systems, he says, the safety systems are there for an absolute last-ditch effort to save yourself. So you have to remember to take caution if using any of these equipment. So using the safety features incorporated in your kite equipment and following proper safety protocol during setup, you will ensure a safe beach setup for yourself and the general public. As Airrush product manager Dave Tyberski explains, there is a significant responsibility on the riders to address the safety issues and to educate and promote responsibility, learning, and riding.